Hey everyone, what's up? I'm gonna be reviewing another Phil Ivey hand from this huge 1K, 2K, 4K game with an ante to remind you guys the way I think of this. You know, you have to translate the dollars to big blinds to make sense of these incredible stakes. So 1 million is roughly 200 deep. That's kind of a good ballpark for what's going on here. Which means 400, 500 is roughly 100 big blinds deep if you play 2-5 in your casino. 500,000 here, $500 for you, same. So that's how we kind of think about it. And so this raise to 12K is a very normal raise from Elton from the cutoff with pocket fives. And let's get into the hand.
Who I'm sure when he first roamed up to Macau and their cash games, I'm not going to say they were starstruck, but obviously, the legend of Ivy.
Just worth mentioning, hands folds 10-6 suited in a small blind. 10-6 suited, a nice hand to play, and it's good enough to play against this size, but not with two people behind you, Tan Swan and Elizabeth Chen. There is a big difference. Just like a hand being suited pushes it up 4%, a hand having two people behind you pushes up the chance you're going to get squeezed by probably 15%, if not more. And so every person behind you is sort of like making your hand less suited and less suited and less connected and less connected. And so with no people behind, I'd flat 10-6 suited. With one person behind, it downgrades to 10-6 offsuit, and then with two people behind, it downgrades to 10-3 offsuit. And I'm definitely not flatting 10-3 offsuit.
These guys probably really appreciated an opportunity to rumble with them. And we're going to block out Ivy's cards here as he flats the Elton 12K Open. Mystery card time, brought to you by GG Poker.
Tan Chuan is actually going to re-raise this pocket sevens.
Tan Swan with sevens, he could call, he could squeeze here. They're both okay. Generally, when you squeeze multiple people, it's better to go a bit more linear top-heavy range. So whereas when you squeeze, well, I mean, you're always squeezing multiple people, but generally it's nice to go a bit more linear. So maybe flat sevens, squeeze nines, just because Ivy in between is going to have a lot of pocket pairs and suited connectors calling you, and you'd much rather have, nines when he has 10-8 suited than sevens when he has 10-8 suited, and Ivy's going to be flatting you quite a lot here. But yeah, I think sevens is fine.
You're watching a video that was pulled from the brand new Lab 2.0 course over on upswingpoker.com. The world's best poker coach, Uri Peleg, has spent the better part of the last year creating a clear learning path to poker mastery. No matter where you're currently at in your poker journey, Lab 2.0 will help you take your skills to the next level and beyond. If you're serious about improving your no limit hold'em game, go check it out. Now, let's get back to Uri.
Now, Elton, if he were closing the action, he would call fives, which is kind of the theme of this video, but Phil Ivey is behind him. Phil Ivey could have sixes, sevens, eights, nines, tens. He could have 7-8 suited. He could have a bunch of hands against, which Elton isn't doing so well. And so when you get squeezed and you have people behind you, you tend to start folding your lower end hands that you would usually call. So your lower pairs, your low suited connectors, your worse suited broadways, and suited aces, just because of this domination effect from the player behind you.
Something. He mixes up a bit. Sometimes he flats, sometimes he squeezes, basically based on mood.
3-bet time, brought to you by Tan Chuan.
Imagine Elton saying is going to set mine these two fives. Here we go.
Isn't a cheap proposition to do so.
So interestingly, Elton does call, and the way you can explain this, which I didn't mention, is how deep these guys are. These guys are so deep together that greatly upgrades the value of your pairs and suited connectors, and then it pushes them back into calling. If you had something like 500k, this would be a fold. But either way, these are the kind of hands which Phil Ivey and many guys often play, which get better the better you are at treating people.
Oh, given it's another 47,000 required, but Elton's chips being in the pot does make a prospective call to close the action that much more potentially profitable for Ivy.
Oh, what about all the chips?
All in from Ivy, very interesting play. So here, again, we don't know his hand, but we can guess what his range is. So given he didn't 3-bet from the cutoff, we're going to remove aces and kings, and possibly queens, and we'll say the natural hands for him to play like this would be jacks, tens, nines, eights. For some guys, this goes down to 7, 6s, 5s, 4s, 3s, deuces. But generally, you're supposed to start higher up. And of course, hands like ace jack suited, ace queen, if he ever has ace king here. Sometimes like a queen jack suited, king queen suited, ace 5 suited type of hands, but those should be fairly rare. And so here we get into a spot where, in theory, 10 swans, pocket sevens are supposed to call if Elton's, never back raising behind, which I think he never is. Supposed to call, but it's very, very close. It depends a lot on Phil Ivey's accurate range construction, and this is a spot where you really want to know your opponent, know his mood, be able to read him, because here theory will tell you always call sevens, it wins $1,000, and practice will tell you the pot's $1 million. Maybe I can do better than winning 1,000 by starting to read my opponent. Is this the kind of guy who ever shoves low pairs? Do I have a feel for was he strong or not when he flatted? What have I seen him do? What is he capable of? Is he more the guy to slow play and shove jacks, or the guy to get frustrated and just rip in 5, 6 suited because he doesn't know what he's doing? I'm not saying anything here is bad. We all get frustrated, and I don't think anyone here would rip 5, 6 suited. But yeah, tough decision for 10, and it's a lot of money. I don't know what he's gonna do.
This is 450 plus in total. Does he have sevens beat? What do you think, chat? Who's Phil Ivey doing this with?
Tough to call with 2 sevens.
He flatted the button against the Elton Open. Ton 3-bet, Elton flatted, and now all of a sudden,
Feels like 8s or 9s to me.
it's a big mess.
Now on to Elton. I feel like 5s are not quite good enough. There's a big gap between 5s and 7s. 7s you beat 6s and 5s. 5s you lose to 6s and 7s. So I'd expect Elton to just fold here.
Like for Ivy to be able to back raise jam, I think he's got 5s in big trouble. Lays it down. It's actually ace-6 suited.
Wow. So a6 suited by Ivy, I would say technically speaking not the hand you want to have here. But whenever I see someone kind of pull this off with perfect timing, especially someone like Ivy, I'm always kind of suspicious. It's not so much about the hand, but he kind of read where the other players were in their range and took advantage of that. So I have to say well played. Hope you guys enjoyed this hand analysis. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time.